feel like a queen for the day.
Hello
Hello.
there, Judy. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to push the button and come in the office.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Welcome back.
Very nice to meet you. You have a great office.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How have you been?
Good. So you've been really not too good. So welcome back to the Human Perspective. Today we have the privilege of speaking with Congressman Langevin, and we're in his office. He's got a great office, and one thing I have to say, I felt like a queen coming into his office when you push the electric door and it opens up and I don't have to bang my wheelchair against the doors. So thank you. Was it hard for you to get them to make your office more wheelchair accessible?
No, I have to say the whole office complex staff, the architect of the Act Capitol, and others in the support staff here on the Hill that make our life possible have been wonderful from the get-go. House Administration Committee, Steny Hoyer, of course, has been an invaluable friend and trailblazer and helped make my service here in the Congress easy and possible. So it was sort of by accident. I didn't plan to go into politics or hold a public office as a young person. I fell in love with law enforcement, and I thought that was going to be my contribution to public service and being involved in my community. I started in a police cadet programs, like a Boy Scout program, but we did things around and centered around police work. And I thought that was my chosen career path, police officer, and then hopefully one day become an FBI agent. But life had other plans, and unfortunately I was in the locker room of the police station when I was 16. Two officers looking at a weapon that one of them had just purchased, handed it to the other officer to look at. He didn't realize it was still loaded and pulled the trigger to test it, and the bullet went off. The gun went off, and the bullet went through my neck and severed my spinal cord. So, unfortunately, at a pretty young age, it derailed my career plans.
Fortunately for us.
I had been around politics, though, it's a little bit. My mom had worked for a state senator who ran for mayor in 1976, as I recall, and I got dragged along to the campaign rallies and leaflet drops with my two brothers, and after this gentleman who's become a mentor of mine in politics, Joe Walsh, one of the great mayors of the city of Warwick years ago. But my mom was brought into the administration and as a personnel director, and then economic development director after that. And so I got exposed to kind of a little bit the workings of government, going to the city council meetings, and so got a little bit of a taste of it there.
And were you intrigued by it?
I was intrigued by it, but not something I would have perhaps thought of as a career. But after my accident, I'm trying to think, what am I going to do with my life? I was incredibly touched by the wonderful outpouring of support that I received from my community, which made me say, if I could ever do something to give back and pay it forward, I would want to do that. One thing led to another, and I started getting more and more interested in government, and politics, public service through that lane. And I saw it as a wonderful way of giving back. But what I did realize at the time is how much I was going to truly also enjoy it. And so one thing led to another. I ran for local office, and Rhode Island had voted every 10 years. The voters are asked if they want to redraft the Constitution or amend it. And in 1984, the voters said yes to a constitutional convention. In 1985, they held a special election, and I ran for office and served from 85 to 86, just a one-year position, as I recall, and enjoyed that. And then in 1988, I ran for state rep and was elected in 1988 to the legislature and served there from 88 to 94. I was actually in school at the time I was first elected, and during that time I also got my master's degree.
At Harvard?
At Harvard, yeah. Rhode Island College for my undergraduate degree, and at Harvard for the Kennedy School for my master's degree.
I was there last week.
Were you?
Uh-huh.
I'm very proud of both of my degrees, both in state and in the Kennedy School. And but I graduated in May of '94 from Harvard, and then I was on the ballot in November of '94 for running for Secretary of State. I was elected there, served from 1994 to 2000, when the congressman at the time, my predecessor, Bob Waken, announced he was running for the Senate against John Chafee, or for John Chafee's Senate seat, who announced his retirement, and it was an open seat for Congress, and I threw my hat in the ring, ran, and thankfully the voters placed their trust and confidence in me, and I was elected in November of 2000, and then sworn in January of 2001.
It seems like you really enjoy your work and you enjoy representing your constituents.
I do. I enjoy the job most days. It's like anything, especially now, tumultuous and contentious. I'm more of a policy wonk. I like to, as I describe myself, I like to solve problems, and not be so much involved in the political infighting. But it's part of the job, so you just have to deal with it, all of it. But I try to look for ways to address policy changes that make people's lives better.
So I know people ask this question, but what's one policy that you feel most proud that you've been working on?
Well, there's several of them. From a very human perspective, the Lifespan Respite Care Act was something that I'm proud to champion.
And what is it?
So we all have an appreciation for living with a disability is full of challenges, and we need our supporters, our helpers around us, caregivers, especially our family, maybe family members or others that are around in our inner circle, that just make living independently possible. And so, but we also need to take care of the caregivers, right? And so the caregivers are, in a lot of ways, are unsung heroes. It's not at times it might be uncompensated care, and if we had to put a dollar figure to it, even it was in 2013, I think it was a study that was done, and they determined that in that particular year, if we had to put a dollar figure to uncompensated care of caregivers, it would be more than we spend on Medicaid in that particular year. So the Lifespan Respite Care Act is about providing respite for our caregivers in the same way they call
them personal assistants.
Yeah, personal assistants, caregivers, a variety of names, but they're the people that help, and especially it's challenging if maybe in a family, it's great rewards in knowing that you make a difference for you helping your family member, but it also can take a toll financially on the family and physically, emotionally. And so a little bit of respite allows someone to come in, give the caregiver a break, so the caregiver can also take care of themselves, make it to the doctors, take the kids to the soccer game, do the grocery shopping, any number of things that just help to make the family work, and so the caregiver can stay strong and continue to help.
It's a big topic, and I completely agree with you. And I call people like that indentured slaves, because people have no choice when they're living in a family, and there's really a need for better pay for personal assistance services.
There's no doubt, because they don't get paid enough, and sometimes if it's a family situation, right, they may get paid nothing. That's exactly right, and so trying to help wherever we can and support the system, making it better. That's what I was very, very proud of that. Also very proud of being in Congress when we passed the Affordable Care Act. I had said when I first campaigned, because that was a big campaign issue in my district, my race, that I said I would judge my time in Congress determined by how well we did in solving and addressing our nation's healthcare crisis. So the Affordable Care Act wasn't perfect, but it brought us a long way toward covering the uninsured and helping to control costs, because they were really escalating. People forget how the trajectory, how high the trajectory was going on if we stayed under the current fee-for-service system before the Affordable Care Act. So I was very proud of both of those things. And then, of course, my national security work, especially also in cybersecurity, is something that I've developed a passion for. Career in technical education is another one, making sure that our young people have the skills to do the jobs that are available right now go unfilled. So there's no shortage of issues that I've worked on and that I continue to work on. I'm very proud and honored to be here in Congress representing a great state, the home state of Rhode Island.
So next year is an election year, as I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've heard about that.
And I'm wondering, the disability community is obviously interested in a number of things, one of them being that the candidates come forward with their positions on their policies on disability, and also to be able to get more people running for office who have disabilities.
Absolutely.
And then getting disabled people out to the polls.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, are you involved with any of those activities?
Well, I sure would like to be, and I'm always encouraging people to run for office. We need more people with disabilities running for office. Ironically, I just saw an ad on TV today, I think it's put out by AAPD, encouraging people with disabilities to run for office. I said, wow, that's a powerful ad. That's a wonderful message. And absolutely, people with disabilities should think about running. And I've often said, and I said it when I first arrived here, and they were making changes to the House floor or in my member office here with the automatic door openers and the lectern, or making the speaker rostrum accessible so I could get up.
I want to spend a second on the speaker's rostrum.
Sure. But my point is, I said, although the changes are being made for me to make it possible for me to serve in the Congress and serve more independently and be able to fully participate in every way like every other member of Congress, I may be the first quadriplegic to serve in Congress, but
You are.
I most certainly will not be the last. I hope I'm not the last. I don't believe I will be. I believe that there will be others that will follow, and I hope my time here is served to open those doors and bring down the barriers to other people with disabilities serving in the Congress.
So it was a great moment when you were able to preside over the House. How did that feel for you?
It was an incredible thrill and honor and a privilege to be up there, especially being the first with a disability, mobility limitation, to be able to, with a series of lifts that they had designed to bring me up to the speaker's rostrum. It was a hard podium to navigate and figure out how we were going to make it accessible. But Speaker Pelosi was determined to make it accessible, and on the 20th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, I took the gavel and gavelled the House in and presided over the work and proceedings of the House of Representatives. It was an incredible honor that I'll never forget.
Have you ever done it again?
Oh yes, several times.
Okay.
And of course, I was in the majority. I came into the minority, and then in 2006, the Democrats took control of the majority from the Republicans, and served in the majority from 2006 to 2010, when we unfortunately lost the majority. So we're in the minority until this Congress last year, and then back in the majority again. It's generally by tradition, it's only the members of the majority party that preside over the session. So it was nice to take the gavel again and preside over the House in this term of Congress. And hopefully we'll be in the majority for a long time to come.
I hope so too. I'd really like to thank you for your time and for all your wonderful work.
Well, thank you, Judy. It's an honor to be here and an honor to be with you today. Thank you for your advocacy and your service when you were in the administration, the Obama administration. Appreciate your work on behalf of people with disabilities. It's a team effort. Look forward to continued collaboration.
Thank you very much.